Absolutely acceptable. And I do that only on larger pieces. Because quite honestly, this works perfectly fine, except when you get to the bigger piece where there's a large mat board and you get a lot of paper, a lot of weight, probably not a great idea. That's why we'll hinge it to the substrate instead of the mat. Okay. Any other questions? Anything on the glass or anything else? Because we're going to move on to...
You don't make a T-hinge. I kind of learned to make a T-hinge.
So T-hinge, it all depends how, when you're, if you're floating artwork, sometimes you go from the back side. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so, yeah, we do that. So sometimes what I'll do, the safest way to do it, sometimes we will float artwork on a mat board. So what we do is we position, see where we're supposed to place the artwork. We put a couple slits in here, maybe even on the bottom sometimes, as long as it's able to move. We send the tape through the back, from the back to the face, so it's sticking on the back and it makes it really strong. The T-hinge, you put it right on the face of the face of the substrate or the mat board, and then you're placing it on there. That sometimes gets, that's totally acceptable. If it's not, it all depends on how heavy the paper is. Sometimes we'll get some very heavy paper. I mean, it's large or oversized, so I want to go from the back side. I want to use a wet mount. I don't want to use a tacky adhesive because I don't trust it. But the T-mounts are perfectly fine. Primarily, though, that is for usually when you're floating stuff. Is that what you mean? Did you ever do that before? Yeah. And it worked out for you, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it depends what you're using and how thick the paper is, because a T-hinge sometimes are fine. Sometimes a hinge where it kind of like flap it. If it's too thick and then you're going over and you're trying to burnish it so it stays there after the artwork is placed on top of it, you don't want to leave an impression. You know, that's the tricky thing. I think the nicest way is when you just, if you can go through the back of the mat board, even foam core, if you put it in foam core and hinge it like that, that'll secure it. But on small pieces, you can get away with almost anything. There's not a lot of weight and not a lot of issues like that. Okay? All right. Seem to be moving too fast. I'll slow down a little bit. I'm on too fast. Okay, here's what. So, yesterday I'm trying to get my stuff together and figure out what I'm going to do. So, Janisha, my future daughter-in-law, this is her great-grandmother made this.
Wow.
So she says that's a really nice painting for, a great-grandmother, right? But I realized that I have a stack of frames here that this painting goes in almost every one. And I can tell you already, I'm going to be challenged with this and this probably. I don't have everything. I mean, I just grabbed some. I didn't have 1114 in a real silver. I tried to do that. I find one. I couldn't find it at the shop. So I'm going to leave this one for last. We're going to do with Dale, masterpiece. So here's the thing.
I took that out of the frame.
Did you? What kind of frame do you have? I'm curious.
I have mahogany.
Did you really? So I'm looking at this, two things. We have a blue sky and we have the green. Green, gold almost always goes with it. Depends if there's a lot, especially if there's yellows in it, you can get away with the gold. Depends if it's really bright. The gold gets too much for the painting. The blues usually go with silvers. So it becomes a bit of a challenge sometimes. This one here, I don't think, who brought this in? I wish I had. I know I have a frame in my shop that would go nice with it. I didn't bring it with me.
How much, George?
Well, we'll try a couple of different things. I'm gonna go. Well, this frame here is so popular. Incidentally, on our website, see, we use these blue corners. This is it. I just had this brainstorm years ago. And we have boxes that are specifically made for this, and it fits right in. Boy, these are fantastic. Not cheap, but fantastic to ship and save damage. So maybe I would do something like this. Actually,
See, I like that one, the gold.
big
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
Okay, so now wait. Now we're going to do.
Where's my husband?
I should probably take these off. This probably wouldn't be my go-to, but I want to show you the difference. So again, when you're, now this kind of like, that kind of look dead as a paint. So I probably, a lot of times, the customer will ask to see a specific frame, I put it on, I already know that it's not gonna be the best choice, but you have to kind of do that. This isn't bad, you know, this is not bad. But there's some red showing through here.
Can you show it more to the side?
Oh, actually, I should walk, I'm off camera, can't do that.
This way. That's it.
So typically too, this is on a board, so when we're doing this, we put a, usually I go with foam core. Sometimes if you put a dust cover over, you put the frame points on, but I still like putting, on a panel, I like putting a piece of foam core behind that. It just seems to work better. Okay, that's not too bad.
Doing the frame boards, that kind of makes it more stable.
Yeah, and especially with the panel.
Yeah.
Can we see Cindy's with the gold too, just to see
Yeah,
if
I'm
we
gonna.
like it? With that, no, the black and gold?
Oh, sure.
Mahogany.
There's no, I have the same frame and it has a silver lip to it. It's not, I mean, this almost goes with anything, but I have that same frame with silver. I probably choose the silver because of the light tones right inside. If you can pick the accent lip on a frame, and there's the tones that are going, like if there's a yellow stripe through here, let's just say, you know, that the panel could be anything else over here. When you surround it with the yellow, with the gold lip, it just ties everything together beautifully, you know. So those are the things that I look for. Okay.
George, is there a formula for like picking out what, like when you look at the painting, like what colors in the painting would attract you to a certain frame?
Yeah, okay, so, yeah, there is actually. And sometimes I'll go for something that'll surprise me. And I have to say, I have two paintings that, an artist actually gave me two paintings, and I struggled with one for about 6 years, 7 years, 8 years maybe. And I keep taking it out, I go to add new samples, I try it, can't find a frame I'm happy with. There's others, I'll bring home a painting, I'll look at it, take it back to work, I'll switch out the frame. One of my brother's painting 3 times. I'm happy with this frame.
Is there ever a painting that you liked without a frame?
No.
No.
No, I've got a business. Think about it. No, you know what, absolutely not. But what you can go, I'll take these floaters out. I'll take the floater frames out. That'll be probably the most minimal frame you can use.
Well, because a lot of people now are showing their artwork, they're painting, they're doing a whole wrap.
Yeah, the
You know, some of those galley wraps,
deep
sure.
edge.
Here's the problem. A galley wrap is 1.5 inches. They show the painting, they're not happy, they want a frame, they come to the shop, now I have 1.5 inches. If they're not putting in a floater frame, it's gonna pop out, let's say this one here. This goes down maybe ½ inch, maybe a little more than ½ inch. So now you have 1 inch sticking out the back.
Right.
So if they don't get a real wide frame that's gonna hide that, it's like they're kind of stuck. And incidentally, that brings me to another subject. It's okay if a frame, this frame here is dropping right in there nicely. Yeah, so that's almost flush. Almost flush. If it comes out the back a little bit, it's perfectly fine. It's absolutely fine. Some artists, I'll hear them say, well, it sticks out, is it 1.5 inches, or say 3/4 inch deep, or 1 inch deep, because they want to have it sink into it. It doesn't really mean, you're not going to find the selections you need, because manufacturers, of course, are trying to get the most out of their buck with the thickness of the wood, et cetera, you know. I think that's where it really lies. Okay, so we tried these two.
Do you have a brown frame?
Pardon?
Do you have a wood frame, a brownish colored frame?
We have plenty in the shop. I wasn't sure what to bring. I was grabbing, I suppose I could have, pulled up here with a trailer truck.
Now, did you bring a floating frame?
Pardon?
Did you bring a floater?
Yeah, I got a couple of floaters. I'll do that after. Because I have a painting, actually I showed how we deal with the floaters too. So this is gold. This frame over the years, the finish changes a little bit. It's a Larson jewel frame, but really an excellent company. I love working with them. It's a little bit bright. to me now, we have this in, it's okay, but to me, I see more frame and less artwork.
Yeah.
So you have to be aware of that. And I'm going to, definitely not gold on here. Some people, they're gold people and that's it. That's all they want, no matter what, and I get it.
Black one, the first one.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got one more. This is a new frame that we just got in recently. Well, I love it. It won't go with everything, and I'll tell you why. This frame is beautiful. I love it.
It's different.
Except because it has that strip in the middle and the gold. On still lifes, this would be a killer.
You know, people are saying that's different, but if you go back into the Victorian era,
Yeah.
that was the
Yeah,
way
I
they
know. I
framed
just
things.
love this frame. And no, it's not. This is not bad on
I
here.
like
Ooh,
that.
I'm sorry, keep doing that. I apologize. Just keep getting my attention if you're not seeing. It's not bad.
No, it's not
I love the
very
frame.
It adds a depth to the painting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I would go with that. Especially because his name is in gold. Not so bad.
Yeah.
They do.
No, that's better. Yeah.
For some reason, I'm not getting too terribly stumped today with these frames.
Who painted that one?
That young lady
Oh,
right back there.
Yes.
It's not
George?
signed.
I have a question.
Sure.
When you're hanging frames in your house, and the golds, all gold frames are different shades of gold. Some are
Yeah.
more reddy, some are more yellowy.
Yeah.
Do people mix and match, or how do you feel
My
about that?
house, I do.
You
I
do?
framed it.
You don't feel?
Not yet, it hasn't bothered me yet. I was very particular, I had just framed a piece that went over my fireplace, so I have a mantle. It's like, okay, I gotta see. Well, the frame went really nice. I had two choices. One frame that went really nice with the piece, but not so much with my mantle. This one here went very nice with the mantle and looked great on the, I just made a good choice at the end, once I brought it home and hung it.
Okay.
Those are the only things, because I have a lot of different things in the house. I don't have a lot of wall space. I don't think I have the same frame. I go, it's just a whole gamut. I just go with the, you know. So far. Now, if you're an artist who's selling in galleries, or you're doing outdoor shows, or you have a display that's taking, like, let's say, a certain space on the wall, you don't want to have a whole array of frames. It's way too distracting. And I experienced really had a great impact was at Mystic Art Show. Those artists, I looked in his booth, it was like there was so many different frames he had. It's like I just walked by because you can't visualize, you can't see the artwork. It's just so distracting. Forget it. You go into the next booth. So that would be the thing. If you're selling it, not just going home, the purpose is to make artwork, get it out there and sell. You try to be somewhat consistent. And if you're some artists, I know that they have these palettes that are just pretty similar. The artwork's different, but the palette's pretty similar. So they go 1, 2, or 3 frames, and that's it. And it works really good for them.
So for art that you just want to show in bins, would you recommend what you did there, just mat it and put plastic over it?
Yeah, a lot of artists do. Sure, yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's a good thing to get the price point where you want it. I mean, again, we'll touch base on pricing. So that's a big one, because if you're going in or selling in a gallery, they take, usually it's 50%, not too many. It depends. If you're in an art guild, maybe they do 35 or 40%. But the artists that come in and they go to galleries, they pay $200 for this frame. You cannot sell it for your painting's $800 in a gallery. Think about it. They pay $200 for that. Seems like it's okay. Okay, I'll get $600. No, you'll get only $400 back. Then you take the 2 away from this, and now the poor artist is getting only $200. And the way things are right now, everything kind of went through the roof. I think it has a big impact on the painting, the quality of the frame. You don't have to go leaf. I mean, we have some artists that will use frames that are, they're like $30, $40 a foot. It's okay because they're getting $8,000, $10,000, $12,000 for their paintings. That makes sense. But when you're in a specific price range, you have to be aware. Anyhow, so if you paid $200 for a frame, or let's say $150, you need to say, okay, now I need $300 for this frame. Now I want $800 for my artwork, and then you do the math, and that's how you. So you'll get your $400, and you recoup $150 back on your frame. Does that make sense?
George, I have a question going back to paper.
Okay.
I know some of the shows, if you're gonna ship out a watercolor, they don't want glass anymore.
You want plexi.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still doing that, I know, it's a shame, but you can't get, I mean, they have the anti-reflective, pretty sure it's anti-reflective plexi through the roof. If you get a large sheet,
That's
it's like
expensive.
thousands.
Yeah.
It's like, so that doesn't make sense, you just put plexi on it, it's okay. It's what everybody did for years and years and years, you know? So you have to, I know, it's either that, but I took in shows, you know, a few years back, we used to do for the pastel, when they had the show, I forget where it was, but we took in a lot of work, and I see, they're still coming with glass on it.
Glass.
They say plexi, but, well, you can't, on pastels, you're not supposed to use, so they do ship with glass. But they have these expensive boxes they'll use, so.
Yeah.
Let's see, okay, so this is what I'm saving for, we went through all these. I have two floaters, I'll do this. Let's see, I think, maybe I didn't get the right choice, but. Okay, so I grabbed my buddy Bob again. Actually, that's probably too thick, too deep, rather. I just grabbed one of those paint cans sitting on for too long. I don't know if it's still, probably still doesn't like. So when it's a panel, we want to drop it into a floater frame. This actually sunk in too deep, as you can see too. I gotta. If I use this frame, I'm gonna bump it up a little bit more. So this wood panel that we make and put on the back or
I
space.
was gonna ask you, have you seen
Yeah, because we had to resolve the problem, how do you, I didn't like, some companies will put these little blocks, they'll say little blocks, it's like, I don't like that, I like this. Once you put the adhesive that we use, once you put this on the back of the panel, we'll forget about getting it off, it'll be a nightmare. But, I mean, you can always, if you want to, you can drop this back into a standard frame, which actually I could. It wouldn't even matter, you just use it like a regular frame. So it wouldn't matter, you just put the offset clips on this. Incidentally, we're gonna have a quiz at the end of the class. I got some giveaways over there, so you better keep notes.
Yeah, that's great.
I love this frame, and it comes in silver too. I love it. Actually, Bob Marie, I just did this frame in silver. We sent it up to a gallery. It looked beautiful because it was like a fog scene, a lot of grays, some purples. There, believe it or not, this isn't black. There's some red. I don't know if you
Red
like
in there.
yeah, there's underneath. Yeah, so it actually shows through. And all the frames that we have here, there's some red in it. So that really does help whether you realize it or not.
But can you show us the floating again?
Yeah.
What
Yeah, I'm gonna go right back
the
to that.
difference is?
And this came out of